Kia ora koutou katoa, no mai hara mai ki UFC on Sky, ko Ravinda Hunia aho, and welcome to International Fight Week. The Australian featherweight king Alexander Volkanovski puts his strap on the line when he faces the interim champion Yair Rodriguez this weekend at UFC 290, and he joins us now from Las Vegas. Kia ora, Alex, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's always good to chat.
Look, I just can't help but notice the Nelly plaster on your face. What's going on there?
It's getting hot in here. That's what I do in Vegas. I'm going to Nelly. Just like a little scratch. So we've got some like antiseptic, like antibiotic cream on there, and I just got to keep it moist. Okay. But I mean, yeah, it's all good.
Nice one.
It's a good look, huh?
Yeah, it's great look. You're bringing it back. Look, explain to us the atmosphere in Las Vegas. It's International Fight Week, and there's always a lot more buzz going around when it is International Fight Week.
Yeah, well, it is. You know, that's what's always good about being International Fight Week. I've been to 3 of them now, I think, which has been pretty cool. But to headline this one is incredible. And yeah, like you said, just an absolute buzz. There's a lot of things going on this week, and then obviously finishing off with a massive event this weekend. So cannot wait.
Absolutely. And of course, you're not there alone. There's 6 Anzacs up in the mix, and it kind of makes you feel like there's, a lot of camaraderie and, like a force to be reckoned with fighters from this side of the world.
Yeah, it is. That's what we call like a little unofficial, like a takeover, right? Like it's we're all coming from our side of the world, coming over here to put on a show for obviously the Americans and everyone here in Vegas and everyone back home, obviously New Zealand and Australia. So it's pretty cool. It is good. I've been lucky enough to on Perth, obviously fighting with so many Aussies, and then now the same again. So it's pretty cool.
Nice one. Look, and talking of Anzacs, we see in the UFC countdown that Blood Diamond was in your camp, helping you for the unpredictability, that word that surrounds Yair Rodriguez. So talk to us about Blood Diamond traveling over there from CKB.
Yeah, well, that's the exact word everyone's using, right, for Yair. And, it's the exact way to sort of explain his style, and no better guy to have in your camp than Bloods for that. You watch his kickboxing highlights, and he's got to be one of the most unorthodox, unpredictable guys there is out there. So he's been great and been ideal for camp, and obviously lucky enough to have Colby and Roon, who's obviously still, I wouldn't say you could still say unpredictable because he's got so many tools, but he uses them all so well at a long range. So to have both of them guys really give me good looks and keep it nice and tricky and difficult for me to keep me on my toes, this camp's been ideal.
Yeah, you mentioned being kept on your toes, and I seem... It just comes to my mind that it's working on reactions, how you react to that unpredictability. How much do you feel you've improved on that front with training partners like this?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is, right? Like for the right reactions, be in the right position when they are throwing things, and not just that, put them in positions where it's hard for them to use their most effective tools as well. So that's something that's going to be very ideal. He's got a lot of tools, but I can take a lot of them away from him, and then do my thing. So, but obviously, still ready for him to still throw these unpredictable things. Even when I feel like I've got him out of position, he can do something crazy. So I've got to always be on my toes. So you just got to fight smart. And again, lucky enough to have these guys in camp with me.
This is your 5th time, defending this title. How much of that comes into play in terms of your experience and having to come out to perform on these massive stages?
I mean, yeah, it definitely does. You got that experience. Obviously, that helps with confidence, composure. Good traits that I've always had anyway. But it's just obviously putting me on a whole nother level, especially being on events like this, having to travel. Defending titles and 5-round fights, and a lot of high magnitude fights. It's really does help again with that composure. Yeah, just experience. It really is. I'll get to a point where people could say that this is an experienced dude. He's experienced a lot in the octagon. I've done some minutes and hours in that octagon. So it definitely, and a lot of them have been in Vegas on obviously like. Here, Vegas, International Fight Week, you know what I mean? So it doesn't get much bigger than that. So it definitely does help.
And coming into this fight, obviously you didn't get that win against Islam Makhachev. And so you come back to the featherweight division with this one. But how much does that learning and that, result fuel you for this fight?
Yeah, I don't really look at it that like, I need to get a win back because my last one. I don't look at it. Obviously, it stung to lose, but play on. I just, as soon as that was done, all right, on to the next. I didn't really feel like a loss. It wasn't like I was dreading it for months. I went home and I was daddy. Went to the gym and I'm Alexander the Great, ready for the next one. That's just, it's a good mindset to have and good mentality to have. I'm pretty lucky that I can adapt to that sort of stuff, even when things don't go your way.
You did mention daddy, and that was something that actually stood out for me. You said a quote, kicking ass and looking after my kids. So, how much you know of that aspect, gives you that fire in the belly to want to achieve well when you know it's more than just about yourself. Oh,
well, exactly. It's more than me. I talk about my family. I talk about my teams. I talk about, country, Anzacs, everything, training partners, everyone that's backing me, all my supporters. It's so much bigger than me. But, that's why in the gym, I take it serious and I commit to it. It is hard work. A lot of people want to have time off. A lot of people, and they, fair play to them. They don't want to train as hard as they should be or could be. They want to cut corners here and there. So that's just how tough it needs to be if you want to really reach the top. And that's, I think I've got too many people that I'm looking after. My family, obviously. And, it'll be selfish of me to not give my 100% every day in the gym and obviously every day in life.
Yeah, nice one. Look, also on this card is Dan Hooker. He's got a big, tall task ahead of him and Jalin Turner. How do you see that fight going?
Yeah, obviously I'm back in Dan. Dan's been looking great. I didn't get to see him this camp, but I seen him. Went over there for Izzy's last camp for the last week, and even before my last Max fight, he was looking great. I don't know what it is, but he's definitely put everything up on another level. And Jalin Turner's dangerous, very good, but I don't think he's seen someone like Dan, who's rangy himself, who's going to give him problems on the feet, then can wrestle. And he's a really good wrestler as well. He showed that in fights, but, in the gym he shows it all the time, and submission. So he's got a lot of tools he can use there. So I'm back in Dan all the way.
Nice one. Look, very exciting card ahead. All the very best for this weekend. Of course, us here in New Zealand, Aotearoa, we will be watching. All the best.
Thank you. See you.
On the path back to the middleweight title bout, the former champion Robert Whittaker will be facing Dricus Du Plessis this weekend at International Fight Week, and he joins us now from Las Vegas. Kia ora, Robert, and welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problems at all. Look, even in Las Vegas, it looks like you've got a nice little setup there ready to do all your interviews.
That's it. Another day in the office. It's hopefully by now I would have worked out a system that works. So, I'm creature of habit. Same thing every town.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it, so thank you. Look, Robert, there's so much to fight for this weekend. As I mentioned in that little intro, that you are on your way back to a middleweight title shot. What does this fight mean for you?
Regardless of the title shot or anything else, this fight means the world to me. Every fight is just as important as the last, and I understand the dangers that Dricus brings this weekend, and I'm going in there respecting that, and he's going to get the best.
From what you've seen of him so far, where do you think those strengths lie?
I believe it's his resilience. There's been so many of his fights where he's come so close to defeat, yet pulled victory somehow. And I think that's one of his greatest strengths, just not quitting, not giving up. You put that on top of an athletic body with a well-rounded skill set, and it got a dangerous combination.
He has also been making a lot of noise, calling out the champ Israel Adesanya, wanting that title shot and all those sorts of things, but he has to get through you to do it, How much of a mistake is it for him to look past you? I don't think he is, but, all the noise is on that title shot for him.
Yeah, definitely. Well, who's he going to chirp at? I'm not gonna engage in anything, and he probably knows that. I've done nothing to him, so why should he do anything to me? He's just doing his thing. If he looks past me, that's a silly move. But I think he's very switched on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a great fight nonetheless. Look, the one thing that really I'm interested in with you is, this year, at the end of the year, you'll be 11 years fighting in the UFC. That's such a long time. And it feels like over these years, you've been able to evolve and, stay up to date with your MMA as the sport evolves as well. What is the trick to be still fighting at this level, at this higher up in the division after 11 years?
There's two parts to that. The first part is my coaching staff always pushing me, always helping me find new angles on my skill set. My training partners always pushing me, same thing. And then the second part is my family, my kids. They drive me, and I have an unlimited drive with them. They're the reason why I do what I do, why I put myself in uncomfortable positions, why I strive as hard as I must. And with those two things behind me, there's no slowing down.
Absolutely. Are your kids training as well?
They are. They're down at Grace's Spring Grange also.
Nice one. Look, having that family aspect to things, giving yourself that purpose, because obviously in an 11-year time span, you grow as a person, you grow as a man, right?
Definitely. And, as I've been growing as a person and a man, I've been growing as an athlete. They're both related. One doesn't come without the other. And I really feel like I've hit a really good stride with who I am and why I do things. I'm a man with a reason to fight, and that's it's quite powerful.
It is powerful, and it's dangerous at the same time. So, talk about the work that you've had to put in for this camp, because only big fights for you from here on in, right?
Mate, I've only ever been fighting big fights, and I look forward to this one as well. He's a dangerous guy. He's coming in as the underdog. He's a man with nothing to lose. I respect that, and I'm going in there, and he's going to get the best version of myself.
Nice. What do you want to show? What is that you want to show the fans this weekend? What is Robert Whittaker going to bring to the table?
I want to showcase another level to my skill. Every fight you guys have seen me get better. Every single fight I've gone a level above, and I want this next fight to be no different. I want everyone in the world to see the next level of Rob Whittaker, and if I can accomplish that, I'll be very, very happy.
Nice. And of course, along with building skill set and, physical strength and all of that comes that octagon, that IQ as well. How much does all this experience work in your favor against a fighter in Du Plessis who's only been in the UFC for, a little over 2 years?
Yeah, I hope it plays a great factor. You would hope so anyway. I've been doing this for too long for it not to play any sort of impact. Experience shows very heavily in this game, in this sport, in every sport. So I look forward to getting in there and, using it.
Nice one. Look, the middleweight division is, it's on fire at the moment. Every fight that's happening, everyone's got an invested interest, on who's going to get the best of their opponent. What are your thoughts on the middleweight division right now?
I think it's in a great spot. I think there are some new heads coming up, and there are some old heads going down, and there are some heads that go nowhere. They're starting myself. And the talent is just amazing at the moment with the athleticism that's here. I feel like the middleweight division is such a prime example of power meets speed and technique. And, it's an exciting time to be a middleweight. It's just filled with opportunity.
Nice one. Look, whenever I talk to you, I can never get you, talking about all the drama and, things that surround the middleweight division and going for the title. I respect that about you, actually. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you about Israel Adesanya, who has voiced that you're not the fight that he wants next, that he gives 100% faith in Du Plessis and getting this across the line. How does that make you feel, and what do you think that's about?
It doesn't make me feel anything, really. I think... he's saying that because he just doesn't want to fight me. I'm sure if I was in his shoes, I'd rather fight Dricus instead of myself as well. But, you can't always get what you want, mate. And, I got a job to do this weekend, and that's what I'm focusing on.
Nice one, Rob. Look, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you, and we're wishing you nothing but the best for this weekend in Las Vegas. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, it wouldn't be International Fight Week without a Kiwi in the mix, and New Zealand lightweight Dan Hooker will be featuring against Jalin Turner, and he also joins us from Las Vegas. Kia ora, Dan, and welcome back.
Nah, always good to speak to you, especially especially this close to a fight on fight week when things start to get a bit more exciting.
Yes, it's the spicy end of the week now. Dan, look, the first thing that, of course, catches my attention is the blonde hair. I too went blonde last year, so tell us the reasoning behind this new hairstyle.
No legitimate reason. It was just a bit of a last minute whim. I decided to do it. So yeah, I can't say I had a great reason. Just felt like it.
And what are you thinking? Are you liking the look?
Yeah, everyone seems to like. I think it's cool, which is pretty much how most of my decisions make. Is like if I like it, then that's what goes down. But I definitely like it.
Nice. Look good, feel good. That's the one. Look, it's your very first international fight week. So how has it been on the ground since you've been in Las Vegas?
Oh, it's been good, man. It was also the 4th of July yesterday, which was like a big day over here in the US. So Vegas was pumping, the streets were blocked, there were fireworks going off everywhere, people coming out of your ears. So it's cool. You can definitely feel the added energy around Las Vegas.
Nice one. Well, yeah, it's like a celebration type environment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's party mode. 4th of July is quite big to Americans, so they're all partying. Man, it was cool sitting watching out the window of our hotel, just all the fireworks cracking off and pumping. It was it was very cool.
International Fight Week always draws in, those past legends as well. Have you been able to bump into any of those UFC legends that would be a part of the festivities?
Not just yet. I saw Robbie Lawler at the press conference, which was pretty cool. But I think they come out for the big guns come out for fight night, for the fight show. So hopefully get to rub shoulders with a few of the boys.
Nice one. Look, Dan, how has preparations been going for this fight? Jalin Turner, tall task, of course, for a big card.
Oh, it's exactly what you want. You want to fight. They get you back in the mix. They get you back in the conversation, and this is definitely the fight, especially main card, huge pay-per-view. Yeah, it's very exciting. But training was terrible. It was difficult, which is exactly how you want it. You wouldn't want it any other way. If it's going too smoothly, then you're probably not working hard enough.
Talk to us a bit about that hard training, because I remember you said a similar thing, before your fight in New York as well, that it was tougher than it's ever been before.
Yeah, like that was like a grind. Huge was really sticking the boot in as you would. But no, this has been another grueling training camp, but refreshing in the sense of adding a lot of tools to the toolbox. We were lucky enough to have Craig Jones here for the first half of camp, so it was like pretty grappling heavy. And then the second half of it's been predominantly based around striking. So it's the best of both worlds pretty much for this training camp.
And you two, you and Jalin are so, well-rounded, strengths everywhere. Where do you see this fight potentially going? Do you think Jalin would want to take this fight to the ground, seeing as City Kickboxing is traditionally a striking gym?
Oh, it's mixed martial arts for a reason. I'll take it wherever I can find success, whether that be in the feet, on the wrestling, against the cage, on the ground. It's wherever I can find success. That's where I'll use my experience and drag the fight to where he's the least comfortable.
Nice. And of course you had Izzy there. He'd obviously be a big help in simulating, these long limbs of Jalin Turner. You've got long limbs yourself, but, of course it would be important to be preparing alongside someone who can mimic those long limbs of Jalin's.
Oh, definitely. Two of my training partners for this camp were Israel Adesanya and then Carlos Olberg. So they're the same height and close to the same length, if not a bit longer. But I definitely don't think that they kick or punch. I definitely think that they kick and punch a lot harder than Jalin does, which will be a good little treat when I get out there. I'm not getting booted in the ribs by Carlos Olberg anymore.
Well, a pleasant change then.
Definitely a pleasant change. he's a lot, I'd say Carlos is a lot heavier than Jalin. Let's just say that. Getting hit with 100-something kilos is a little bit different than getting hit with 80 kilos.
And now that you're at the tail end, you know, the tapering down part of the camp, how have you felt you've come out the other end, you know, in comparison to this camp that you've had?
Oh, good. The body's in good nick. Eugene and my striking coach Twister, they just arrived now. I haven't seen them yet, but we're just about to shoot off to the gym and then get a training session in. Nice.
And what would you be doing in a training session so close to fight night?
Oh, just hitting some pads, getting the sweat on, running through a bit of the technique, a bit of the stuff, but really just keeping those tools sharp, just keeping the things that we've worked on over the last few months, just keeping them fresh in my mind.
Yeah, I was going to ask how much of that prep, you know, this little prep going to the gym today would be like a psychological approach to, you know, to keep that part of it fresh as well.
Oh, I'm very obviously pretty down, like you're bringing the weight down a little closer to this. You know, you're getting rid of your sugars and your carbs and stuff like that. But that's like the main thing, is to keep the mind sharp. That's like really what you want to be doing at this point. You obviously can't be pushing the body to its absolute extremes, even though I feel like it wants to. Yeah, it's just all about keeping that mind sharp, keeping the mind ticking over, and keeping concentrated on the task at hand.
It's such a process, eh? It's such a process to bring all of this together. The skills, the nutrition, the psychological, you know, everything, and then to get to the fight night and for it all to be peaking at the right time.
That's the real recipe right there. It's like, I always think of it as like, it's like spinning, you know, you ever see at the circus, there's someone spinning like 5 plates at once. That's exactly what you have to do as a fighter. You have to, you know, have your grappling, your wrestling, your striking, your nutrition, your fitness, your strength. Like all of these things need to be peaking at the right time to get the ideal performance.
Absolutely. And I know that every time you step into the octagon, it's an important fight. But what does a win here, you know, mean for you?
Yeah, a win over Jalin definitely puts me back in the mix. It puts me back in the top 10 and answers a lot of questions, which I'm more than happy to do. He's still a pretty young dangerous contender that a lot of guys are ducking or turning down. So I relish it. I relish the opportunity to get out there and test my skills against them.
Nice. And not to mention, it's such an exciting matchup. I know that, you know, everyone here at home absolutely cannot wait to see it. Something else that people here in New Zealand are looking forward to are the All Blacks versus Argentina this weekend as well. Have you given any thought to that? And how do you think the boys might go?
Oh, the boys will smash them up. It's going to be a walkover. Go on, boys. The All Blacks have got it in the bag. It's in the bag.
Nice one. Look, Dan, thank you so much for your time. All the very best and have a good training later on.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
UFC 290 will also be featuring the welterweight legend Robbie Lawler in his very last fight up against Nico Price, so do not miss that. All the action will be coming to you live on Sunday afternoon. So head over now to Sky Arena or Sky Sport Now to book your pay-per-view. Hei kōna mai.
Skill for skill, many have believed him to be the best in the world for some time. The featherweight world beater Alexander Volkanovski.
He's one of the most impressive champions in the history of the sport.
There is levels to this game, and he's the highest.
Round after round, blow after blow.
Bring it!
I'm the top dog, you already know.
But now it's my turn. I'm willing to give it all to become the champion.
I got the fight of a dog in me.
There are few brands of violence as compelling as Yair Rodriguez.
Ain't no holding me back, I strike.
He wants to prove that he deserves that belt.
Oh, he's tapped!
That's it.
Yair Rodriguez! Wow! The interim UFC Featherweight Champion.
Yair Rodriguez is a real threat.
But I'm the best, no matter who's in front of me.
Alexander, the great Volkanovski, ladies and gentlemen.
He is as skilled in all phases as any fighter in the game. The consensus best featherweight of all time.
I'm on another level right now. I can't be stopped.
Yair Rodriguez!
Yair Rodriguez is a video game.
We have not seen anything like him. He's one of one.
The speed and the technique. Yair Rodriguez is special. Mexico!
The top dog.
No doubt the people of Mexico going crazy right now. Brandon Moreno! Look at the passion this guy has for fighting.
The first Mexican-born UFC champion.
He's so so tough, and he's just got that warrior's mentality.
Let's go! Alexandre Pantoja!
He has a history of victory against Brandon Moreno.
And he is a guy that can put anyone out.
I come to finish the next Middleweight Champion! This is it. This is as good as it gets in the sport.
Robert Whittaker!
He wants to cement his legacy and become the champion again.
I'm going to go to war.
Dricus Du Plessis! He's off to a perfect start in the UFC.
I'm going to be the first South African UFC champion.
2 undisputed UFC titles on the line.
This is international